Apache Sitgreaves National Forest, an expanse of over 2 million acres, stretching across Arizona to New Mexico, with towering mountains and canyons overlooking dense pine forests. It's an oasis of green in the arid Southwest, home to Native American tribes that fought in the Apache Wars of the 19th century. It contains some of the most sacred sites in Native American folklore. These original inhabitants know the secrets of the park and the mysteries it conceals.
You can be walking around here at nighttime and you'll see things that are not explained in the ordinary way.
November 5th, 1975. Travis Walton is part of a crew of loggers at work in the forest.
Well, our job was timber stand improvement. We were cutting out diseased and damaged trees, following up on the logging that had covered the same area the year before. So we'd put in a long, hard day, and it was starting to get dark, and we were on our way home.
On the road out, they catch sight of something unusual. A strange light coming from the trees.
We really got curious about it. You know, could that be a forest fire, plane crash or something? You know, it was just glimmers of points of light filtering through the trees.
We kind of went around the corner and there was a clearing on the right. Travis yelled, "Stop the truck."
Travis suddenly jumps out of the vehicle before it can come to a stop. The men are shocked to see him move towards the light, as if in a trance.
Get back in the truck, Travis!
Less than 100 feet away was this glowing metallic disc. I just thought it would be gone before I got very close.
It was perfectly motionless in the air, 15 to 20 feet above the ground, and just perfectly still, wasn't making any noise.
It was just incredible. The power and energy, the actual kind of beauty of it is kind of strange to call it beautiful.
Tell him to get back in the truck!
They started calling at me to get back in the truck, let's get out of here. I was standing there looking up at it and was making some very strange tones. A sound you could feel in your body more than actually hear with the ear. And I just reflexively jumped into a crouch. I was ready to run.
But it's too late. His body is seized with incredible force.
This blast of energy came from it, and the guys in the truck said that my body fell like a sack of meat, like there were no bones left in my body. They were yelling at each immediately, it killed him, it killed him.
Terrified the object will attack them next, Mike and the others take off as fast as the truck will take them, leaving Travis behind.
And I know that wasn't a real brave thing to do. I mean, it was very frightening.
When Travis regains consciousness, he's not sure where he is. He thinks it may be a hospital.
But when I could finally focus my eyes more clearly, I could see that these weren't doctors standing around me. There were these creatures.
He realizes he's been taken aboard some kind of spaceship and is being examined by what appear to be extraterrestrials.
I immediately knew what my situation was, and it was extremely frightening. Their eyes were enormous, and I was riveted on that stare. They were hairless. These creatures were less than 4 feet tall. I imagine I was probably the biggest threat to them, just being out of control with fear pretty much the whole time.
Travis can't describe in words what is done to him aboard the spaceship. All he knows is that when he comes to again, he is on the side of the highway near Haber, Arizona, and has no idea how he got there.
I had a 5-day growth of beard, and then I looked at my watch, and the date had changed. And for some reason, that was just like the last straw. You know, for days, I could hardly finish a sentence. I was so traumatized.
What are extraterrestrials doing in Apache Sitgreaves National Forests? Could their presence be connected with other mysterious phenomena in the area? It's the late 1950s. A police officer is out deer hunting just north of Snowflake, Arizona. Stepping out into a clearing in the forest, he makes a bizarre discovery.
he found several spherical holes that looked like they'd been precisely cut as if something white hot had seared or kind of routed out an impression about 20 feet wide and 8 feet deep. And the sides were shiny, they were smooth, as if the rocks had been polished. What was really surprising is that these holes seemed to appear overnight. He knew the area. He knew they weren't there before.
The sides of the holes are so smooth, animals that have fallen in can't get out and drown helplessly.
The Phoenix Gazette, the local newspaper, actually ran a story with him sitting next to the holes and showing what had happened with the wildlife.
What could have created these mysterious craters? There could be a natural explanation, a meteor strike from the sky.
Most meteors will take out a swath of trees or leave some type of a pathway. There might be an explosion or something at the end. There might be burned vegetation. A police officer didn't find any of this.
Unsure of what to do, it's claimed that the police officer calls in the Army Corps of Engineers. They are also baffled. No one can say what could have created these perfectly concave holes in the earth.
What's particularly intriguing about this story is that the Corps of Engineers came in, actually filled these craters with rocks and stones, essentially to hide what they were.
What could explain the mystery of the craters? Some believe there may be dark forces running amok in Apache Sitgreaves National Forests, causing even more bizarre incidents.
It was total disbelief. It's like, holy mackerel, everybody could sense that it was evil.
With its sacred mountains and densely wooded canyons, Apache Sitgreaves National Forests loom over the parched deserts of central Arizona. It's a land of extraterrestrial visitations and bizarre craters in the earth that defy explanation. What's behind this baffling series of incidents, and why are they occurring here? October 2012. Colleen Pointer, her daughter, and a friend are searching for a historic gravesite in Apache Sitgreaves National Forests.
The area is just off the highway. It's down in a small hollow just off of the creek. When we first had settlers, they all camped or made homes near the creek for access to the water. It's a small plot where a mother and her baby daughter were buried.
Colleen wants to check on the state of the burial site after it was recently desecrated. Local people are superstitious about the site and have been placing talismans on the grave as a way of warding off the supernatural.
People do go to visit, and when they do, they take trinkets, necklaces, notes, and they leave for the baby.
As the sun begins to set, something changes in the air. Colleen becomes aware of a sinister aura around the grave, as though she's in the presence of something unseen.
Everybody started complaining about how they were feeling. It was just as though there was a change in energy, and that change seemed to affect all of us that were there.
Even more frightening, they begin to feel physical sensations they cannot explain, as if an unseen presence is reaching into their very bodies.
My daughter felt dizzy. She felt like somebody was running their hand down her back.
These inexplicable sensations grow so intense, the three women are overcome by nausea so powerful they can barely stand. Colleen realizes if they stay any longer, they may be in danger.
My daughter was yelling at me, "Mom, Mom, we have to go, we have to go."
Terrified, the three women flee the gravesite. Back in the car, the mysterious illness that struck them so powerfully has disappeared. Colleen looks through her photographs, trying to understand what happened. She makes an alarming discovery.
In the photo of my daughter, there's this huge black mass settling down on top of her head. You could barely see the side of her face. It was total disbelief. It's like, holy mackerel, you know, what is that? Oh, everybody could sense that it was evil.
What caused Colleen and her daughter and friend to be sickened at the gravesite? Could it have something to do with the mysterious black entity seen in the picture?
There was no logical explanation, and needless to say, we will not go back. I would not want to put my family through the horror that we went through then.
Other visitors to Apache Sitgreaves have also experienced strange apparitions. At the Diamond Rock Campground on the park's eastern edge, tourist snapshots record bizarre orbs that aren't visible to the naked eye.
Many people have seen strange lights. Sometimes these orbs are as big as basketballs. Some orbs only show up in photographs or video.
The Diamond Rock Campground was once Native American land. Could powerful spirits in the area be responsible for these photographic apparitions?
I think that they have always been here. The American Indians in the Southwest have always talked about them. They've always said that they're so like a messenger that advises you or tells you about things that are going to happen in the future.
What could explain the enigma of the orbs? Could they be connected with an extraterrestrial presence in Apache Sitgreaves? An unusual discovery deep in the forest could provide the answer.
And what I've been told is that little unknown sequence of DNA is unlike anything on this earth.
Deep inside Apache Sitgreaves National Forest in central Arizona, a mystery is growing. There are unanswered questions about an alien abduction and whether it's connected with the presence of mysterious orbs and dark spirits in the forest. What could be behind these baffling occurrences? Summer 2008. Researcher Alex Hearn is conducting a wildlife survey in the hills near the forest's edge. He's drawn to this area by an incident that took place earlier in the day, when he was pelted with rocks by an unknown attacker. As his friend Jerry pulls up, Alex notices something strange. The forest has suddenly gone quiet. All of a sudden, something is stirring in the dense undergrowth.
I heard some faint footsteps to my left, just off the road, in the twigs, and I heard the twigs kind of cracking. You could tell they were footsteps.
Whoa! Did you see that?
Through the trees, Alex catches sight of a beast unlike anything known to science.
The creature raised its eyebrows, huge cheeks, huge nose, huge lips, very demonic. And I stood there totally dumbfounded. This creature was eye level with me. It didn't yet look at me. I assume it knew I was there, but it didn't yet know that I was looking at it.
Then, without warning, the beast turns around and heads back into the woods.
And all I could see was the trees or brush going up and down.
What did Alex Hearn see that day? Some believe it was a humanoid beast known as the Mogollon Monster that researchers have been documenting for years, especially in an area of the park known as the Hot Zone.
Dozens of dogs have gone missing in this area. A lot of hikers came face to face on more than one occasion with a large bipedal creature that was not human.
Not only does Hansen believe these bizarre creatures are lurking in the park, he suspects they're breeding there, in special nesting sites he has found.
It's commonly believed they're very intelligent beings and they're able to communicate with each other. Sometimes they'll break branches of pretty sizable trees, 3 inches in diameter or more, bend these over, and kind of make a canopy where they can kind of bed down and stay out of the elements.
What is the Mogollon Monster, and why is it roaming the deep backcountry of Apache Sitgreaves National Forest?
The Mogollon Monster, or the Mogollon Man, has always been something that the American Indian tribes have known for centuries. And they treat it just like a supernatural individual, but they never have captured or even killed one because they come from a different dimension.
Since his encounter with the Mogollon monster, Alex Hearn has recovered tissue samples from the creature's habitat. DNA testing of the material has yielded results that are nothing short of astonishing.
Yeah, we had nuclear and mitochondrial DNA done, and almost a full sequence. And what I've been told is that little unknown sequence of DNA is unlike anything on this Earth.
Could the Mogollon monster's unusual DNA have extraterrestrial origins? If so, how long have aliens been active in Apache-Sitgreaves National Forest? Could it be part of a much larger phenomenon that the government is covering up?
I just need you to get back in the car. You're not going through this way tonight.
The FBI was reportedly on the scene almost immediately. That's unprecedented for a regular fire. There had to have been something else going on.
No, we got it.
Strange things are happening in Apache-Sitgreaves National Forest. A terrifying alien attack on a logger. Bizarre craters that appear in a clearing, and unearthly creatures that roam the hills. Could these mind-boggling incidents be evidence of a long-standing alien presence in the forest? June 23, 1996. Residents of a small town in Arizona are greeted by a strange sight over Apache-Sitgreaves National Forest. A strange white light moving through the sky.
This was just a solid white light descending silently. Aircraft aren't silent. Helicopters aren't silent.
It's claimed the mysterious light breaks into three and plunges into a heavily wooded area, triggering a fire. As fire crews respond, the county declares an emergency and orders the evacuation of the surrounding area. Police establish roadblocks along the main access road.
Ma'am, back in the car, please.
Sir, I just wanted to know how long it's going to take.
I'm not able to answer any of those questions here right now. It's for your own safety. I need you to get back in your car and go back.
But while the fire is quickly contained, the government response is unusual. Witnesses report government agents in civilian clothes manning checkpoints, preventing anyone from getting a look at the impact zone.
The FBI was reportedly on the scene almost immediately. That's unprecedented for a regular fire. There had to have been something else going on.
It's believed the extraordinary government response is part of an effort to cover up something shocking: the crash of an alien spaceship.
They don't want the general public to know of the reality of the UFO phenomenon. They don't want people to know that UFOs are crashing to Earth and being recovered by the military.
It's claimed that a government cover-up may also explain why the Army Corps of Engineers suspiciously filled in the mysterious craters found in the park 40 years earlier.
What's particularly intriguing about this story is that it actually sounds like that the holes were filled in to prevent people from seeing what they actually were. Perhaps some sort of extremely heavy UFO landed in the area and created depressions in the ground that actually mimicked craters.
The presence of aliens in Apache-Sitgreaves could also be linked to another of the forest's mysteries: the existence of the ape-like creature known as the Mogollon monster.
One of the interesting aspects of this Mogollon monster phenomenon is that it often coincides with UFO sightings. They've seen a UFO, and then they've been able to find classic Mogollon monster tracks leading up to the clearing, and then they stop, and there's no other trace of it.
Why would extraterrestrials be operating in Apache-Sitgreaves National Forest? Shockingly, it's believed they're using the forest as a base to keep an eye on some of the country's most important nuclear installations, just across the border in neighboring New Mexico.
New Mexico in the 40s was home to the Los Alamos labs, where the first atomic bomb was tested. The Roswell Army Airfield was home to the people who dropped the first atomic bomb on Japan.
There's no question that the Apache-Sitgreaves National Forest is right in the middle of a hot region, if you will, for the development of weapons, rockets, atomic bombs.
Apache-Sitgreaves' strategic location has allegedly made it an ideal hideout for those from other worlds concerned about our increasing military abilities. If the reports are true, Apache Sitgreaves National Forests may well be one of the most important wilderness areas on the planet.
I've been to the Apache Sitgreaves National Forest. There's no question that this area would be the best place for aliens to evaluate, to observe, to check on what's the technology, especially the killing technology. From an alien viewpoint, we are now a threat to the neighborhood.